I want to encourage vets that are feeling really bad, that want to leave the profession. You worked so hard to get here. You know so much. You have so much experience. There is a possibility of falling in love with vet med again. My name is Gunila Pedersen. I am Danish and I studied to be a vet in Copenhagen. Straight after I finished, I went to Spain. And at some point, I started having my own clinic. I set my own clinic up. And in the end, really struggled. And then I sold the clinics in the end because I just could not cope with them anymore. And then I ended up locuming in the UK. Doing that. So I was traveling from Spain to the UK and I burned out so badly. And then I discovered coaching and I discovered that there's another way to view the life, view the world in general.
Yeah.
And I started to apply it to my personal life. And then I suddenly started missing vet med again. And I went back, just tentatively started locuming a bit and discovered that now I could handle it. No, I had learned to set boundaries. There were so many things that had changed for me. So I can now handle any situation.
It's an incredible journey in what is kind of quite a short period of time since graduating. But maybe if I could just take you back to why you became a vet.
I wanted to become a vet since I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It was just all I wanted to do. And my personal story, which might vary from other people, I think we all have a different story, but I had a difficult childhood. I had an alcoholic father. My home situation was not that stable, but somehow the animals seemed to be the stable factor in my life, something you could always rely on. Their personality would always say, they didn't suddenly go angry for no reason. Mm-hmm. So for me, animals became an important anchor for me. And vet school, at least in Denmark, back then, it's 20 years ago now, it was fun to study, it was very hard, but every day for me was a dream. And it was not until I got out into real life and then had to handle, the client's expectations, the whole money aspect of it, the hours, that I then slowly started grading on me.
I'm interested in your perspective on what you think the common themes that are driving the kind of burnout, the mental health issues and struggles that we're seeing in the profession across, many parts of the world, not just in Europe.
So I think a lot of us are shocked when we do everything we can and it doesn't work. Or we want to do everything we can and we get stopped because the people don't have money, and maybe we have to put animals to sleep that we know deep down we could have saved. Some of the vets I coach, they just spend an insane amount, for example, on writing notes because the notes have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So they will then not have any time and their whole life just gets absorbed by the profession. Once you get out there, you realize there's so much you don't know, and you start doubting yourself. The problem is when you get into that way of thinking, it follows you all the way. It's 40s onwards where I have the most people coming in because they have been in this self-doubt, perfectionism for so long. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, sure. What are the common themes that are coming out in your work that you think practices could quite simply start to implement that would make a difference in some of these struggles?
One other thing that I see is that the managers and clinical directors they're often not, they're elected because of their clinical experience.
Yeah.
They are not leaders and they do not have the training. They do not have the human skills to have the difficult conversations, to know when to support people, to really listen so people feel they're being heard and seen. Mm-hmm. So I think having more proper training of leaders in human skills, that is the one I see.
You talked about your personal experience and moving into kind of getting support, and you've ended up yourself being a life coach. What made you think this is actually something that I want to dedicate my career to now? I want to move into this space.
I think it was the fact that once I was there and I was enjoying it so much and I was looking around and seeing everybody so burned out, I thought, but I have the key. This is easy. You just need to set boundaries and learn to manage your mind. And just because you feel a bit of anxiety, there's so many tools I learned and implemented on myself, that on my home life as well. So I had, at that point, my both daughters were teenagers, and trying to juggle job with teenagers, I always wanted to keep them happy. I wanted to please everybody. Everybody around me had to be happy. Yeah. But it's the same in practice. When you have pet owners, pet guardians coming in with a sick pet, often you cannot make them happy no matter what you do, because it's going to be tragic. Pets don't live that long. You cannot necessarily make them happy. And then for my case, I was a people pleaser, and I thought I was doing something wrong. I was wrong because I couldn't make people happy. And letting go of that, feeling responsible for other people's emotions, for me, that's been, I think, the biggest shift as well.
Wow, fantastic. I think that's actually really motivating for people. You can put words to things that I think possibly many vets aren't able to in terms of emotions and how they're feeling. Is that a skill that you have picked up recently in your work, or is it something that you inherently had? How did you know that you needed to seek help? How did you know to go to the emergency room, for instance, when you were having panic attacks?
I had zero awareness. I just knew I was feeling, and I had like a constant knot in my stomach, and I had constant anxiety, and I didn't realize I had it until way into my coaching, where I would suddenly say to my husband, I was like, oh, I don't have a knot in my stomach now, or oh, my breathing is normal, or oh, I can't feel my heart beating.
Right.
That was how bad it was. I could only feel it when it stopped.
Wow.
And that's when I knew, and it would be seconds at a time. And we're talking probably about a year and a half into me being coached and learning these strategies, that I could drop the levels. Yeah.
And that's where you learn the skills to kind of identify it and be able to address it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's super, super important, right? Because the studies show that when you are able to articulate, like you say, and define your emotion, that actually helps you get rid of the emotion or deal with it. No, they have shown MRI scans where the amygdala will light up if you're, for example, feeling anxiety, and then if you can name the feeling, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling anxiety, whatever it is, it will literally calm the amygdala down. So your whole nervous system can be helped just by stopping for a second and how am I feeling.
Any final thoughts that you wanted to share with the audience today?
I want to encourage vets that are feeling really bad, that want to leave the profession. You worked so hard to get here. You know so much. You have so much experience. There is a possibility of falling in love with vet med again. For sure, I was feeling terrible. I hated it, and I was having panic attacks, and I did not want to know, and I turned it completely around, and now I love it. I just want to say that it is possible for you, even if you think it's not, and if the clinic you're at is not for you and they're bringing you down for whatever reasons, there's something else out there for you. Keep searching and keep working on yourself, and don't give up on vet med, because it's a lovely profession.
It is indeed, and you've got a really inspiring story, and I'm certain that people will take real heart in that. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you.